Hello everyone, in today's session we are going to start spotting errors exercise part 1. So let's begin. First of all, read the directions. The first direction is read the complete sentence before selecting the part with the error. Look for the error in the use of preposition, conjunction, adverb, and verb particularly. Keep in mind the various exceptions to the grammatical rules. Remember the sentence may not contain any error. Avoid extra efforts in creating an error yourself. If there is no error, the answer is 5.
Let's read the disclaimer. The images used in a slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images.
The question number 1 is he was in a trouble when he saw a truck running towards his car. You have 10 seconds to spot the error. I hope you have found. Let's look at the explanation and the correct answer. The correct answer is 1. He was in a trouble. Let's look at the explanation. The explanation is remove "a" before trouble. The phrase in a trouble should be corrected to in trouble because trouble is an uncountable noun. In this context, does not require an article. Not in danger, in trouble, in detail, in debt, in comparison. In fact, are some of the examples where an article is not used because of the nouns being uncountable nouns. So the corrected sentence would read, he was in trouble when he saw a truck running towards his car. This aligns with common phrases like in danger, in debt, where the nouns are used without an article. Let's move to the next question. The sentence is, Sarika helps poor and the sick people happily. You have 10 seconds to spot the error. I hope you have found. Let's look at the correct answer and the explanation. The correct answer is 3, poor and. The explanation is, the is used before an adjective when the noun represents a class of persons, which means to refer to the class of persons, you need to use the before adjectives. The phrase poor and the sick people should be corrected to the poor and the sick people. The article the is needed before poor because it refers to a specific class of people, making the phrase more precise. So the correct sentence would read, Sarika helps the poor and the sick people happily. This uses emphasizes that Sarika assists these specific groups in society. So whenever you use article before an adjective, it refers to a class of people. Let's move to the next question. There is a sentence, the boy is swimming in the college pool. You have 10 seconds to spot the error. I hope you have found. The correct answer is the boy. The explanation is, I is used with the singular countable nouns. The phrase the boy should be corrected to a boy. Using a indicates that we are referring to any boy, not a specific one, which aligns with the general context. Whenever we use a with a singular countable noun, it refers to a noun in a general context. So the correct sentence would read, a boy is swimming in the swimming college pool. This change clarifies that we are speaking about a boy in general, rather than a specific individual. Let's move to the next question. The sentence is, the chief minister will decide the matter soon. You have 10 seconds to spot the error. I hope you have found. Let's look at the explanation and the correct answer. The correct answer is chief minister, option number 1. The explanation is, insert the before chief minister, use the before designations, as it is a rule of grammar. The phrase the chief minister should be corrected to the chief minister. In English, we use the before titles or designations when referring to a specific individual in that role. So the correct sentence would read, the chief minister will decide the matter soon. This change clarifies that we are talking about a specific chief minister, making the sentence grammatically correct. Let's move to the next question. An European girl came to India to meet her friend. You have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you have found. Let's look at the correct answer and the explanation. The correct answer is 1. An European girl. The explanation is, here European begin with a vowel E, but it is pronounced as yo, so A will be used. As is in part 1, the phrase an European girl should be corrected to a European girl. Although European start with the vowel E, it is pronounced with a consonant sound, so the article A is appropriate. With consonant sounds, we use A, not an, not N. So the correct sentence would read, a European girl came to India to meet her friend. This change follows the rule that I is used before words that begin with a consonant sound, regardless of their spellings. Let's move to the next question. Ria went home very late last Monday. You have 10 seconds to spot the error. I hope you have found. Let's look at the correct answer and the explanation. The correct answer is 5, which is no error. And the explanation is the sentence Ria went home very late last Monday is grammatically correct as it stands. All components of the sentence are properly structured, with went home indicating the action, very late describing the timing, and the last Monday specifying when the action took place. Therefore, there are no errors in the sentence. Let's move to the next question. The sentence is, the fruits of all the modern luxuries lie in the science. You have 10 seconds to answer. I have found the correct option. Let's look at the answer and the correct explanation. The correct answer is 4, the science. Let's look at the explanation. Remove the before science. Error is in part 4. The phrase the science should be corrected to simply science, as it refers to the field in general rather than a specific branch. So the revised sentence would read, the fruits of all modern luxuries lie in science. This usage aligns with the standard expressions where disciplines like science, mathematics, art are mentioned without an article. It means whenever you use subject in general, you don't use any article. Let's move to the next question. The sentence is, in order to claim any tax benefit, you have to submit the fixed deposit receipt issued from the bank. Options are given below. You have 10 seconds to find out the correct answer. I hope you have found. The correct answer is answer 2, any tax benefit you. The explanation is replace any by a. Error is in part 2. The phrase any tax benefit should be corrected to a tax benefit. In this context, I is more appropriate because it refers to a specific type of benefit that the speaker is discussing, rather than suggesting that any benefit would suffice. So the correct sentence would read, in order to claim a tax benefit, you have to submit the fixed deposit receipt issued from the bank. This change improves clarity and grammatical correctness. So it means speaker is talking about a specific benefit which he will get from the bank, not about a general Let's move to the next question. The winters are generally very cold here. Options are given below. You have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you have found. The winters are generally very cold here. The correct answer is the winters. Option number 1. Look at the explanation. Remove the before winters. Do not use articles before names of the seasons. As we know that with seasons names, we don't use any article. As in part 1, the phrase the winter should be corrected to simply winters. In English, we typically do not use an article before the names of the seasons when speaking generally. So the correct sentence would read, winters are generally very cold here. This change aligns with the standard rule of omitting articles before seasons when discussing them in general sense. I hope you have understood. Let's move to the next question. I will go there by train or by bus. Options are given below. You have to spot the error. You have 10 seconds. I have to find the correct answer. Let's move to the explanation and the correct answer. The correct answer is 5, which is no error. And the explanation sentence I will go there by train or by bus is correct as it stands. In English, the article the is typically omitted before modes of transportation when using the preposition by. So it is standard to say by train, by bus, by car, etc. without an article. This usage emphasizes the mode of travel rather than referring to a specific vehicle. So it's clear when you are referring to means of transportation in general, use by plus means of transportation without any article. Let's move to the next question. Kunal was sentenced to a prison by the judge. Options are given below. You have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you found the answer. Let's look at the correct answer and the explanation. The correct answer is 4, a prison by the judge. And the explanation is omit are before prison. Article is omitted before church, prison, hospital, college, school, etc. When the visit to these places is for the purpose they are primarily built. The error is in part 4. The phrase a prison should be corrected to simply prison. In English, we often omit the article before certain institutions like prison, hospital, school, and church when referring to the place in terms of its primary function, not the secondary function. So the correct sentence would read Kunal was sentenced to prison by the judge. This usage indicates that he is going to prison as a punishment rather than visiting it for another purpose. Let's look at the next question. The sun rises in the east is an universal truth. Options are given below. You have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you have found the correct answer. Let's look at the correct answer and the explanation. The correct answer is 4, is a universal truth. Let's look at the explanation. I is used before a word beginning with the sound U, pronounced as yo. As in part 4, the phrase an universal truth should be corrected a universal truth. The article a is used before words that begin with the consonant sounds. And universal is pronounced with a yo sound at the beginning, which is a consonant sound. So the correct sentence would read, the sun rises in the east is a universal truth. This change follows the rule for article usage based on pronunciation. I hope you have understood the concept. The next sentence is, this is a red shirt which my wife presented me on my last birthday. Options are given below. You have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you have found the correct answer. The correct answer is 1. This is red. And the explanation is, red shirt has become particular, specific. So the will be used before red. The error is in part 1. The phrase a red shirt should be corrected to the red shirt because the context implies that it is a specific shirt that is already known to the speaker and listener. So the corrected sentence would read, this is the red shirt which my wife presented me on my last birthday. Using the indicates that we are referring to a particular item rather than any red shirt. Although with the names of colors, we don't use any article. But when colors becomes particular, we need to use article. Okay, let's move to the next question. The sentence is, I advise him to take the heart in all odd circumstances. Options are given below. You have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you have found the answer. Let's look at the correct answer and the explanation. The correct answer is 2. To take the heart. And the explanation, remove the before heart. Error is in part 2. The phrase to take the heart should be corrected to take heart. In this context, heart is used in a figurative sense, meaning courage or hope, and does not require the. So the corrected sentence would read, I advise him to take heart in all odd circumstances. This expression is commonly used to encourage someone to remain hopeful or brave in difficult situations. So to take heart is an idiomatic expression which is used without any article. Let's move to the next question. The sentence is, Times of India is a popular newspaper of these days. Options are given below. You have to answer. You have 10 seconds to spot the error. Okay, let's look at the explanation and the correct answer. The correct answer is 1. Times of India. And the explanation, the I is used before the names of the newspaper. As in part 1, the phrase Times of India should be corrected to the Times of India. In English, it is standard to use the before the names of newspapers, but that should be a special newspaper, which is known to everybody, to indicate that we are referring to a specific publication. So the corrected sentence would read, The Times of India is a popular newspaper of these days. This adjustment makes it clear that we are talking about that particular newspaper. I hope you have understood. Let's look at the next question. Kashmiri shawls are made up of the hair of sheep. Options are given below. You have to find the error. You have 10 seconds. I hope you have answered. Let's look at the explanation and the correct answer. The correct answer is 1. Kashmiri. And the explanation, the is used before nouns which name the inhabitants of the country or city collectively. As in part 1, the phrase Kashmiri shawls should be corrected to the Kashmiri shawls. The article the is used here to refer to a specific type of shawl that is known collectively as Kashmiri shawls, emphasizing their uniqueness and origin. So the corrected sentence would read, The Kashmiri shawls are made up of the hair of sheep. This usage makes it clear that we are talking about a specific category of shawls associated with Kashmir. Let's look at the next sentence. The Rome was not built in a day. Options are given below. You have to spot the error with 10 seconds. I hope you have answered. Let's look at the correct answer. The correct answer is the Rome. And the correct explanation is remove the before Rome, as Rome is a proper noun. Error is in part 1. The phrase, the Rome, should be corrected to simply Rome. Proper nouns, like the names of cities, do not require an article when referred to in general. So the correct sentence would read Rome was not built in a day. This adjustment aligns with the standard usage of proper nouns in English. So in general, we do not use articles with proper nouns, as Rome is a proper noun. It is a name of city. Likewise, you will say Delhi. You can't say the Delhi. You will only say Delhi. Let's move to the next question. I found an 1 rupee note on the road yesterday. Options are given below. You have to find the error in 10 seconds. I hope you have answered the correct answer. Let's look at the correct answer and the explanation. The correct answer is 3 and 1 rupee note. In the explanation, I is used with nouns pronounced with consonant sounds. Here 1 is pronounced with consonant sound. That is in part 3. The phrase and 1 rupee note should be corrected to a 1 rupee note. The word 1 begins with a W sound, as in 1, which is a consonant sound. So it should be preceded by a instead of n. So the correct sentence would read I found a 1 rupee note on the road yesterday. This change ensures proper article usage according to the English pronunciation rules. Let's move to the next question. It is a pity that the daughter of millionaire is involved in the bank robbery. And options are given below. You have to answer in 10 seconds. I hope you have answered. Let's look at the correct answer and the explanation. The correct answer is 2, the daughter of millionaire. And the explanation is place R before millionaire. Millionaire is a countable noun. That is in part 2. The phrase the daughter of millionaire should be corrected to the daughter of a millionaire. Because millionaire is a countable noun, requires an article. Just remember the point. What I'm going to say is whenever you use a singular countable noun, that, that should be used with the article a or an. Adding a indicates that we are referring to one among many millionaires, making the sentence grammatically correct. So the revised sentence would read, is it a pity that the daughter of a millionaire is involved in the bank robbery? Let's look at the next sentence. The sentence is, it was an insight and perseverance of the lady doctor that many women were able to lead normal life. And options are given below. You have to answer in 10 seconds. I hope you have answered. The correct answer is, it was an insight. Let's look at the explanation. Replace an with the. The sentence contains an error in part 1. The phrase an insight should be replaced with the inside because the context implies that there is a specific insight being referred to. Regarding the lady's doctor contributions, using the indicates that we are talking about a particular insight that had a significant impact rather than any insight in general. So the corrected part would read, it was the insight and the perseverance of the lady doctor that many women were able to lead a normal life. This makes the sentence clearer and more precise. Let's look at another sentence. Kshitiz is an honest boy. Options are given below. You have to answer in 10 seconds. I hope you have answered. Let's look at the correct answer and the explanation. The correct answer is 3, are honest. Explanation is here, N is used before a word beginning with silent H. That is in part 3. The phrase a honest boy should be corrected to an honest boy. Article N is used before words that begin with a vowel sound, and honest begins with a silent H, making the initial sound a vowel sound. So the corrected sentence would read, Kshitiz is an honest boy. This change ensures proper article usage based on pronunciation. I hope you have understood. Let's look at the next sentence. Parul was also invited to the lunch hosted by the queen at her cottage yesterday. Options are given below. You have to answer in 10 seconds. I hope you have answered. Let's look at the correct answer and the correct explanation. The correct answer is no error, which is option number 5. The explanation, the is used before particular meals. The answer is 5, no error. The phrase the lunch is correct because the lunch is used to specify a particular meal that is being referred to. In this case, the lunch hosted by the queen. So the sentence Parul was also invited to the lunch hosted by the queen at her cottage yesterday is grammatically correct and appropriately identifies a specific event. Although we do not use any article with the names of meals like lunch, dinner, breakfast. Let's look at the next sentence. The Punjabi is a very sweet language of Punjab. Options are given below. You have to answer in 10 seconds. I hope you have answered. Let's look at the correct explanation and the correct answer. The correct answer is 1, the Punjabi. And the explanation, the is not used before the name of languages. The error is in part 1. The phrase the Punjabi should simply be Punjabi in English. We do not use the before the names of languages. So the correct sentence would read, Punjabi is a very sweet language of Punjab. This adjustment aligns with the standard usage of referring to languages. In general, we do not use any article with languages like English, Hindi. Let's look at the next question. It is the most beautiful painting of the gallery. Options are given below. You have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you have answered. Let's look at the correct answer. The correct answer is 2, a most. Let's look at the correct explanation. Use the before most being superlative, as most is a superlative degree of much and many. The error is in part 2. The phrase a most beautiful painting should be corrected to the most beautiful painting. In this context, most is used to indicate the superlative degree, which typically requires the before it. So the correct sentence would read, it is the most beautiful painting of the gallery. This change clarifies that the painting is being described as the highest quality among others in the gallery. I hope you have understood. Let's look at the next sentence. My parents sometimes come to my school to see the principal. Options are given below. You have 10 seconds to answer. I hope you have answered. Let's look at the correct answer and the correct explanation. The correct answer is comes to my school. And the explanation is replace comes by come. Error is in part 3. The verb comes should be corrected to come because parents is a plural noun. So the correct sentence would read my parents sometimes come to my school to see the principal. Using come correctly matches the plural subject parents. I hope you have understood. So it's all about this session. Thank you.